neighbors, who had to hold myself accountable to my community in the grocery store, who had to reflect and think about the decisions that I made as it related to people I knew that I'd have to see on a day-to-day basis. There were some things about being a statewide or a federal candidate that were amazing to me. And one is, you know, at the local level, we talk about values. We talk about vision. At the local level, we talk about ideas. If we say, this is who we want to be, this is who we should be as a community, we structure that idea with support, with activism, with volunteerism, maybe with policy and with budget. We go out and we advocate for that vision to our community. We hold ourselves accountable to what we said we were going to do. I'm here to report to you from a very unique vantage that our nation's political system has been reduced to a game made up of money and polls. Coming into this thing, I thought campaign finance reform was something that was important. One of 10 or 15 important issues. Coming out of the campaign, I believe that is the single seminal issue that is crippling the future of this republic. Until we stand up, until we take charge, until we decide that from this election into the next, we will get out and knock on doors. We will be the grassroots that elects candidates with or without, Shannon, $1 million worth of yard signs, with or without $1 million worth of McDonald's or Burger King style television, with or without a full accompaniment of a gazillion-dollar campaign. And that's what it takes. That's what it takes. Unless we, the people, decide that every single election we're going to show up and vote, we're going to get out and talk to our neighbors about who to vote for, we're not going to allow 15% of our community to make decisions that impact 100% of our people. You know, being a guy from a borough that's about 700 square miles larger than the state of Delaware, yet only has 9,000 people organized on 14 miles of road. Coming here to Anchorage for an event like tonight and then being invited to come and speak to an event like this. It's easy for me from the outside to say that in so many ways as an Alaskan, it's easy to believe that Anchorage has been occupied since the mid-1970s. I'll let you guys do your own history, figure out what I mean by that. But you know, there was a time, there was a spirit, there was a moment in Alaska's history when 55 civic leaders from the grassroots, from community, stood up, coalesced, joined hands, joined forces, spent weeks upon weeks doing important work up at the University of Alaska Fairbanks. And that group dared proclaim to Alaskans, to the country, and to the world that we here in this state own our natural resources, we own our communities, we own our boroughs, we own the right to self-determination as it relates to us on a personal level, and that this state forevermore will be an example to the rest of the world as to what's possible when everyday people stand up and say, this state belongs to us, we own it. The Constitution ought to be enduring, but you know, sometimes politics and the times change. And today, we have a certain set of elected officials in Alaska who would ignore the intent of our founders, who would disregard the spirit of 56 that was benchmarked in the spirit of 76 so many centuries ago. There are those in our state today who would take our collective ownership and our common wealth and our natural resources and export that wealth to Houston and to London for no other reason but to have Minnesota Boulevard plastered in yard signs in the year 2012 and 2014. Is that small price worth us as Alaskans? And I ask you, is the cost of an election worth having even one Alaskan sell their sovereignty? No! Folks, I'm going to turn the microphone over, but I'll leave you with this. This state wasn't built on a national platform. This state, what is great about this state, was not part of a hot-button platform issue. What makes Alaska great then and what makes Alaska great today is our ability as local people to influence our neighbor. It's our ability as a teacher or a cop or a nurse or a working person standing up side by side and saying, by God, we will unite. By God, we will collectively bargain. By God, we will ensure that any resource extracted in this state is shared with the people who extract it. That any job that is done in this state, the wealth that comes from our tremendous wealth, will be spread through our communities. This is inspiring. This group, you inspire me. I am going to go back to Baranof Island with a renewed sense of energy. With a renewed sense of energy. Keep up the fight. Keep up the good work. Don't let the body politic and the political reality discourage you, because you know the moment that we feel so discouraged that we don't talk, that we don't act, that we don't vote, is the moment that the other side wins. Folks, thank you for hearing me. Thank you for having me. Thank you for being here. Let's keep this momentum up. Let's let the elected officials know that we are here, that we are a force to be reckoned with, that we will not outsource or offshore or ship out our wealth or our resources or anything else unless it benefits us in communities as Alaskans. Thank you.
Damien signed up next. After that, Brian, or no, Matt.